Hello, hi, good afternoon. It's Sarah here from Real Fitness, and I just want to do this live broadcast for you because today is World Menopause Day. I've been posting a few things over the week just to let you know that today is World Menopause Day, and just going to give you a little talk on this topic. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Sarah from Real Fitness, and I help women and some men too feel, look and move better through exercise, nutrition, support and information. I do this through my exercise classes, and I also, from time to time you'll see me on Facebook Live as well, and other groups that I run as well. So here is my little sort of talk on this right now. Now, if you're at work or not able to look now, it will be saved for you to have a look at another time. So I'm just seeing some people just come in. Hello, good afternoon, Jen. Good to see you. Hi, how are you? Okay, so as I said, welcome to World Menopause Day, and this broadcast is for everybody. So don't feel if you're not at that age, sort of menopause age, then this is not for you. This is for everybody. So regardless of what stage of life you're at now, so be it in your teens or be it in your 70s or 80s, you're going to find this useful, I hope, because it's going to look at the broad spectrum of the, starting right at the beginning to right at the end, and it affects us all. And also as well, what gender you are. So if you are a man watching this, you can support your other half, and it's good information anyway. Do you know, I'm really pleased that this day has been here. I'm not sure if it's been here in previous years, I don't know, but it sort of got my attention this year because I think menopause is one of these things that tends to be swept under the carpet, and women don't tend to talk about it. It's like, I'm at that stage of life, and that's what people say. And a lot of women, not all, but a lot of women do suffer in silence when it comes to those menopausal years. And they don't really know who to talk to, who to turn to, they don't know where to get information from, and it's just, one of these things that is really, really difficult to understand exactly what's going on in your body. You just, experience it, and you may have talked to sort of older relatives or friends, but that's about as much as you know. So I think the more it's out there, the more women are going to talk about it and get lots, more information about it. So I'm hoping that this World Menopause Day is really going to help with that. And the types of classes and the types of women that come to my classes are women of sort of 30, 35 plus. So I feel obliged myself to get as much information and knowledge about this. So it's a huge field as well. There's so many things that are affected when you're at that menopausal age, and it can start as early as 35 and can go for many years. So it's a huge portion of your life. And so much can happen in this time as well. So much can happen to your body. So many changes can happen. We just don't understand why it's happening and what's going on. These are supposed to be your power years, ladies. These are your power years when you're supposed to be, coming up to the, the peak of your life. You may have had your family, so those responsibilities might be diminished a little bit, and you're sort of at a good point with your career. You may have not have so many financial burdens. So this should be your power years when you're feeling most, amazing, but then you get this huge hormonal shift, and it doesn't feel that way. So we need to sort of turn that around so that you do feel amazing from, from all angles. And yes, there is most definitely life after menopause, and during it as well, Hello, right, let's see who else has joined us on the broadcast. Hello, Ali, how are you? And Bev, hello. Right, so from a personal perspective, I am going to be reaching menopause in the next few years. I don't know when it's going to be, but over the next few years. And I feel that I need as much information as possible before I enter that. I need to know everything that could possibly happen to me, and what may happen to me and what may not happen to me as well, so that I can feel really prepared moving forward, so I can get my body ready, so that I know that when these symptoms, if and when they happen, I know how to deal with it, and maybe I can help reduce those symptoms as well. So I'm not medically trained, I'm not a health professional, but as I said, in my role, I look after women who are in this age category. So I feel obliged to learn as much as I can about this. And I've been doing a qualification called Third Age Woman, and there's so much stuff out there, so much information. So me, myself, yeah, I'm starting to recognise some of the symptoms already. Some of them are sort of like pushed to the side. I think, no, that's not happening. But, some of them I'm trying to, they are starting to happen to me. So as I said, yeah, not an expert, but I just feel that I just need to give knowledge. And the more I learn, the more I just understand a little bit more about it, but not 100%. So ask questions, and if I'm not able to answer them straight away, then please bear with me while I find the answers out for you. Okay, super, let's move on. So perimenopause starts, this is like the pre-menopause, perimenopause, and it can start as early as 35 and it can last 6 to 10 years. So that is huge. This is perimenopause, so this is actually before you reach menopause. So 6 to 10 years so it is a big time, and in that time you'll be getting some or all of the symptoms associated with it, and I'm going to go through those symptoms in a minute. Average age of menopause tends to be around sort of 51, 52, but everybody's different. The best way to find out, and if you're in a lucky position to still have your mum alive, ask her, when she went through menopause. I did this myself, and my mother said 58. It's like, oh my word, I've got at least another 10 years. Anyway, might be not. And a good indication as well is every time you have a monthly cycle, this is like a snapshot of how your menopause will be. So if you have gone through every month with, very, very little symptoms, chances are your menopause will be symptom-less, not symptom-free, symptom-less. But again, everybody's different, so you don't know until you reach it. So then menopause happens, so it's 12 months since you had a period. So you have a 12-month gap of no periods, and that's when menopause is. So it's not an exact science. Might be 6 for one, it might be 18 months for another, but generally speaking around 12 months. And during this time we have huge hormonal shift. Now this is just a huge topic, so I'm not going to go into too much detail right now, but our hormones are changing all the time, and the hormones in particular are estrogen. Now there's not just one type of estrogen, there's lots of different types of estrogen. So I'm just going to sort of broad, for the purpose of this broadcast, just make it sort of quite broad. So estrogen is one of those that is quite high when you're sort of before menopause, and then it starts to drop off, and it just sort of drops off slightly, and it's just fluctuating, it's going up and down, and it drops off. But not all types of estrogen. Your body still makes estrogen, but different types of estrogen after you've reached menopause. But we need to make sure that we don't have too much of a huge drop, because that's when your symptoms come in, and your body can sort of not be very happy with that. Most every cell in your body has an estrogen receptor, so this means that any part of your body can be affected when you have an estrogen drop or an estrogen shift, which is going like this, sort of a bit of a wavy sort of line as it goes down. So there's lots of things that can happen. So let's have a look at estrogen fluctuations and the symptoms that you might have, or you might not, or you might have all of them. And I think there's some people out there that say, yeah, definitely every single one of those. I can tick every single box, but if you're very lucky, you might only have a few. Okay, so estrogen fluctuations. I'm just going to read from this list here, so bear with me if I'm looking to the side. So yeah, changes in skin. You are going to lose water, so you're going to lose the elasticity as well in your skin as well. Also lubrication, so your muscular membranes are going to be reduced as well. Memory and cognition. Now this I never had any idea that your brain and memory would be affected through hormone shift, and I think this is the one sign one symptom that I'm getting already, when you're just like in the middle of a sentence, you're like, what was I saying? What was I saying? And what's that word? I've forgotten that word. Or you go up the stairs and you're like, what did I go up there for? All these things, and you can put it down to hormones. You're not just going, a bit crazy. You can put it down to hormones. So, it's like, yeah, now I know why I can't remember everything. So tissue elasticity as well, muscles. So your muscles are going to lose, not being so strong. They're not going to be as powerful maybe as they previously were. Bladder irritations as well. Sleep is another big one. Sleep apnea, or maybe you might start snoring because you're sleeping differently. Bone production and bone quality is going to diminish as well when you have less estrogen. Hair as well. Hair might become more coarse, it might become thinner. Blood vessels are going to be affected, and pain tolerance as well. So other things that might affect, and I think this is a big one, the next one, is these hot flashes and night sweats. Yet to experience this, but women who I speak to who get these, just find them absolutely horrendous. And not only is it, hot flashes in the middle of the night and night sweats, but it's also going to affect your quality of sleep as well. Incontinence, bladder irritations and infections, mood swings, mental fuzziness, headaches, migraines. So these are just a few symptoms that you might experience, or you might not, and you might have already had these and they're sort of like to peter off a little bit, or you might be yet to come into menopause, and these are things that you might come across. So lots and lots of different symptoms, and you might be saying yes, got all of those, and what can I do? What can I do about this? What can I do? Is there something I can do? So let's have a little look at things that we can do. So what can we do to help with these? And I'm not saying that it's going to help everybody with what I say, but it might just take the edge off a little bit. First of all, seek help. Talk to your medical and health professional. Maybe that you can go through some screenings, some medical tests to see exactly what level your hormones are at, and they can or cannot prescribe hormone replacement. And that's completely up to you, but make an informed decision. Do your research, chat, with your health professional, and make a good informed decision about that. Not for everybody, and I think it's about 25% of women who are going perimenopause and menopause who decide to take HRT, so it's up to you. So that's your choice, and I'm not going to talk too much more about that. So yes, seek help, get the test done. Now, we need to be very, very careful about our bone health. So when we get a fluctuation with our estrogen, as I mentioned earlier, this can affect our bone health. So we need to be very mindful of osteoporosis, and that comes with having HRT. That's another, you need to look at the side effects of that. So self-care is so, so important, and it just baffles me how some women just don't do this at all. This is top priority, ladies, top priority for you. And in my profession, I see women come, I see women go, and all I want to do is just say, come on, look after yourself, because this is not just now, this is not right here, this is for the rest of your life. And what you do now is going to help you live longer, healthier, have symptoms, less symptoms of all of these hormonal shifts and everything. So self-care. So again, no matter what stage of life you're at now, you can certainly start this from today. Sleep is key. And I think it's just been in the news this week about how we have less sleep now than we did, I did say 100 years ago, something like that. 100 years ago. So I think we are on average now have about 6.5 hours sleep, as opposed to 100 years ago when we had 9 hours sleep. So, I know life is busy, and you've got lights pinging and TV's on, and you've got kids screaming, and you've got to work really late and get up really early. I know all of these things, but you've got to have your sleep. Sleep affects so many things. So have some good sleep regime coming up to bed. Get those devices out of your room, have a blackout curtain, set a good time when you go to bed, set a time when you're going to get up, have good sleep. Just take responsibility for your sleep. Okay, so mindfulness practices is another one that we can do as well. So making sure that we have good time where we sit, chill, turn off the devices again, and just have some good quality time for you. So any way that you see fit. Meditation is great. Have yoga, do some stretching, go for a walk, a nice walk out in the countryside, connect with nature. Okay, this is the third time I've mentioned this in the same topic. So reduce time with electronic devices. Have a time where you turn off your phone at night, be it 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever it is, turn it off and put it to the side. We get that blue light from our devices, which is not good for sleep. It's not good. Your brain sort of starts working overtime when you've got the devices. And as adults, and I'm sure we mentioned to our kids and grandkids, put their phones away, turn their phones off. You're gonna mess with your brain with all of this. I say this so many times every day to my kids, and it's good to sort of put into practice what you're saying as well. So reduce your time with the electronic devices. Now, we as women are in a position where we are a caring role. We might not be necessarily caring for somebody, but we might have, partners and kids and grandkids and older dependents and friends and families, and we are always saying, yes, I'll do that, yes, I'll help with this. Sometimes it's good to say no. Step out of your comfort zone a little bit and say no if you're not comfortable. If you're being bombarded and if it's bringing on stress and it's causing you to not sleep well, you've got to set your boundaries, and sometimes you've got to say no. You've got to say no to things just to give yourself a little bit of peace of mind. Step out your comfort zone, as I said. If you're one of these people that always say yes to absolutely everything, sometimes saying no is really, really hard, but say no from time to time. And maybe put it as your goal to say, I'm going to say no when people ask me to do something because I really don't have the time and I really can't do that because it's quite stressful. Say no. And with that as well, doing all is not good. As again, us women, we're in a position where we need to do everything. We need to be in control of everything. Our house, our work, our outside commitments, our kids. We need to be doing everything. We need to be in control. So it's not always good to be in control. Stress is another big one. So look at your stress. And I'm not talking necessarily about the big stresses. Obviously, they're very, very important with this, but the little stresses, the little things. As our stress builds up, cortisol builds up. If you've got high cortisol without that ability to de-stress and relax, then our body reacts to that. Hormones, and cortisol as a hormone reacts to that. And we tend to sort of think we're in a fight or flight mode. And when we're sort of... our body just wants to hold on to the fat and keep us warm and protect our organs. So you will keep hold of weight if you're in that stress mode, which, from moving on and making sure that we're fit and well, we want to be in a position where we're not holding on to a lot of weight, especially sort of around the waist. So stress, reduce your stress, and that comes back to your mindful practices as well, and saying no and having good quality time for you. This is a good one, laughter. Laughter is so important. When was the last time you actually laughed, like a belly laugh, like really sort of laughed uncontrollably? When was the last time you did that? When was it? Every day? Once a week? Last week? Last month? Do you know what? I was at my parents' house yesterday and my dad he said something and it was so unbelievably funny. I can't remember what it was now. And yeah, that was the last time I had like uncontrollable laughing. And as I was doing this, I was thinking, when was the last time I did this? I couldn't actually remember. Probably the last time I was with him, maybe a few months ago when he said something. So, just think about your laughter. When does it happen? Add that laughter into your life. Okay, so nutrition is key as well, and I'm just going to read through a summary of third age women's nutrition. Okay, I'm going to go through this quite quickly because I know time is pushing on. So, first thing you need to do is to eliminate any food sensitivities. So things like, but again, personal to you. So maybe it's dairy, maybe it's soy, maybe it's gluten, maybe it's wheat. Have a look at things that you might be sensitive to, that's reacting with your hormones, that's making you feel bloated, that's making you feel tired, that's affecting your gut. Have a look at that. And again, all helps with third age women. Adding lots of cruciferous vegetables. So these are things like your broccoli and green leafy vegetables. These have lots of micronutrients and we need these nutrients. Foods full of good fats, fish, walnuts, flax seeds, avocados, olive oils, coconut oils are fantastic for us. Reducing the sugar, reducing the grains as well. We all know that sugar now is the evil, so reduce those as much as you can. Adding more prebiotic and probiotic foods as well. Prebiotic tends to be the high fibre foods. These are the foods that our bacteria in our gut really like and flourish on. Probiotic is what is going to help grow the amount of bacteria that we have, and that's what we want. We want millions and trillions of bacteria in our body to keep our guts healthy. And if your gut's healthy, the rest of your body is healthy as well, and we need that optimum health through our menopausal years. And then finally, so what else can we do? So we can make sure that we have plenty of good exercise. Women, we need to move more. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do, just move more. Whatever you do, move more. But we need to make sure that we have things that we do within our moving. So, exercise for good spinal health. So making sure that we have good posture, that we're standing tall, that we're thinking about when we're leaning over our laptops or on our phones or driving, that we need to make sure that we straighten up. We don't want our backs to be affected by this. So even if you are in a position where you are on a laptop all day, or you're all driving, or you're in that sort of carved position, be mindful, straighten up. Maybe that can be part of your goal. Make sure you have good posture. Excellent. What else is on my list? Okay, make sure that you are using some form of resistance or weight. We need that for our osteoporosis health. So we need good bone density, so you need to make sure you're loading your bones. So good resistance. It doesn't have to be really heavy. Add some weights to it, you know what your workout, a resistance band is great. Just make sure you add that weight. Have good impact as well. Again, great for bone health, osteoporosis, yet again, so good impact. So it doesn't necessarily mean if your knees and joints aren't happy, it doesn't necessarily mean that you've got to run or else. But good footfall, so getting outside and doing a good, strong, sturdy walk is great. Yeah, running's fantastic. HIIT type workouts are great. So you know, these sorts of things you need to add into your exercise. Making sure that we do have at least 20 minutes over 3 times a week, at least 20 minutes. So this is where your heart is pumping, you're out of breath, and you're feeling the burn a little bit, at least 20 minutes. Anything under that, and you're not going to get that good calorie burn and fat burn. So make sure that you have at least 20 minutes. And feel the burn, ladies. So when you're doing things like your squats or whatever exercise it might be, your lunges, you can feel your muscles working, feel that burn. But make it bespoke for you as well. So don't feel that, that if everybody's doing one type of exercise, you've got to do it, because, you need to make it for you. And again, whatever stage of life you're at, if you're a little bit older, or, whatever age, and you haven't got good knees, or your ankles hurt, or you've got wrist problems, then, change it for you. But as long as you're ticking all those boxes. So fantastic. Let me just review on the things that we can do to help at menopausal age and before and afterwards. This does not mean just at menopause age. This is things that you can do. You can start preparing now. So if you're in your 20s now, great, do it now. If you're in your 70s, great, it's all good stuff. I'm not telling you stuff that's not going to be good. So seek help, talk to people, talk to your health professionals, seek help, do your research. There's groups and things that you can belong to. You can, get lots and lots of information. Get tests done if you need to. Look after yourself. Self-care. You've got to be top of the pile. You've got to be. If you're well and fit, you can look after everybody else, so you can have a good, fulfilled life. Power years, remember. Sleep. Mindfulness practices. Reduce time with your electronic devices. You can do it. You can do it. Set boundaries. Say no. And making sure that you're not doing everything, Let other people do some of the stuff. Reduce your stress. You've got that good, strong laughter. Also as well, good nutrition and exercise. All of these things will help. I'm not saying that they're going to take away all symptoms, but they are certainly going to help. Really hope this was helpful. I'm just going to say hello to a few more people that have joined us. Hello, good afternoon. Hi, Louise. How are you? And Sally. Hello, hello. I don't know whether I can scroll back now. And hello, Mo. Hello. Right, so that is me over and out. I really hope it's helpful. Please let me know as much as you want. Ask questions. Let me know how you found this. If there's anything else you want more information on. As I said, I'm not an expert. I just find that I just need to give as much information as I know and as I learn to you. Enjoy the rest of World Menopause Day, and I will see you. I'll see you for a few days next week, and then I'm in the country on Wednesday morning, but I'll be around for the next few days. Have a great rest of the day. Enjoy. Sun is shining, and have a lush weekend. Take care now. Bye.